What's up, guys? It's the JTNBA Report here, back with my 22nd team and my 2018 through 2019 NBA season preview. And today we are here with the Los Angeles Clippers. So Los Angeles has really blown it up. Last offseason they lost Chris Paul. Mid-season they lost Blake Griffin. And this offseason they lost DeAndre Jordan. So Lob City is now officially dead. It was kind of dead once Chris Paul left. But, now they're without their face of the franchise, as was presumed when he was drafted, Blake Griffin. And then their, without a doubt, best player in DeAndre Jordan post the CP3 and Blake Griffin era. And now they're really rebuilding. This team reminds me a lot of the Denver Nuggets back after they had traded Carmelo. They have a lot of good players. They have a lot of good talent, but they don't have any real player that can take them over the top. So looking at it in the offseason, we'll go ahead and start with the draft. They got 2 picks in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jerome Robinson. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an interesting pick. He's a very tall point guard. He's good at a little bit of everything, but I really think that if there's going to be a guy that has some bust potential, it might be him. He's really like Michael Carter-Williams in a sense. Michael Carter-Williams was good at a little bit of everything, but not good at really anything. And I think that's a dangerous player to go with. But considering that they were still in the lottery and he was the best point guard available, and since I believe Patrick Beverley's still going to miss time with an injury, they had to take him. And then Jerome Robinson, I was kind of surprised he went in the lottery. But, he's going to be a good shooter, and they're hoping that he can be a Klay Thompson-like player, instant offense and good defense. So we'll see how that works out. And then also they got Marcin Gortat in a trade with the Wizards for Austin Rivers. I think this was a good trade for them because they knew they were going to lose DeAndre, and Marcin Gortat isn't a bad center. And, I really don't know if the Clippers are going to want to be competitive this year. But if they are, which I have a feeling they'll probably try to be in the slightest, Marcin Gortat's not a bad center at all. And plus, Austin Rivers, this team is kind of guard heavy in some places. So it's probably a good thing that they went ahead and managed to acquire Marcin Gortat. They also signed Mike Scott and Lukumba Amute as well. Those players are good. They're going to be depth players, but, they're not really anything that's going to put them over the top. Then in the offseason, as I already mentioned, they lost DeAndre Jordan, which was kind of inevitable. People were talking about them losing him pretty much since the offseason began, and he signed relatively quickly as soon as the moratorium ended and teams could start, talking with players. And then, of course, they lost Austin Rivers in that trade. So now looking at the Los Angeles Clippers potential lineup. Again, I'm not really sure what the timeline is on Patrick Beverley. So Patrick Beverley will probably be the starter if he's healthy. But for now, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And they re-signed Avery Bradley as well. I just realized I forgot to put that on the graphic. But that was a pretty good re-signing for him. He'll be their starting shooting guard. That's what I'm talking about. This team has a lot of talent, but just not a lot of people who can take them over the top. Then probably Danilo at the small forward. They could also go Sam Decker or Sindarius Thornwell, but I think they'll probably go Danilo. Tobias Harris, who is arguably either their first or second best player, he'll be starting at the power forward, kind of that undersized forward, which he played in Detroit. So, we'll see how that goes. And then Marcin Gortat holding down that center position. And then off the bench, of course, arguably their best player, personally, who I think is their best player, Lou Williams as the sixth man. He is just a dynamic scorer. And the Clippers, the one bright spot, I think, for them will be him off the bench. Then, of course, we got guys like Lukumba Amute for his defense, Sam Decker. Sindarius Thornwell surprised a lot of people coming out of South Carolina. He was a pretty decent talent, and so I think they'll definitely be giving him more minutes this year. And then Jerome Robinson, I cannot see them not playing him. Then, of course, add Patrick Beverley into the mix once he's healthy. So the thing I'd go ahead and look for this young Clippers team is a Kawhi Leonard trade. Now, I know that as of right now, the Lakers are probably the favorites to get him, but I think if there's going to be a team that is going to take the risk, kind of like the Thunder did with Paul George and say, we're going to give you all our chips and we want something back for him, I think it will be the Clippers because they know that Kawhi is a once-in-a-generational type talent in terms of defense, so they're going to try and get him. Now, realistically, what could I see them trying to give up in order to get him? Now, I don't really know how the salaries worked out or would work out, but I know you'd probably have to include Lou Williams and probably Tobias Harris. I think those two would be, the people that you'd have to include. And then maybe either Gilgeous-Alexander, Jerome Robinson, or Thornwell with 2 first-round picks for Kawhi. And maybe they'd throw in somebody else like Pau Gasol, maybe somebody like that, which you could buy out, and then you'd have room to sign another max free agent. Because, this is the thing about the Clippers, too. They have a lot of cap room, and that's going to be very important for this upcoming offseason. But don't count out Kawhi to the Clippers. I will go ahead and say that right now. Anyways, guys, this has been the JTNBA Report, and next time we'll be going on to my 21st ranked team in my 2018 through 2019 NBA season preview. I'll see you guys then.